Well, there we have it, guys. Portugal win. Portugal have got their first win at a World Cup. They've managed to beat Fiji by 24 points to 23. Did not think I was going to be saying that at the end of this game. What a performance by Portugal. In all honesty, this game was tooth and nail right up to the end in terms of the scoreboard. I thought Portugal played a better game. And for anyone who's been with the channel for long enough, you'll know I love watching the quote-unquote, the tier 2 teams. I'm a massive supporter of Fiji, and I really want to see them go into the quarterfinals, and they progress through with another massive win on their hands. But I have to say today, Portugal had a superb performance, and to me were deserved winners of this one. So this one's going to be a little bit different. The game's just finished on my end. We're going to do a review, but it's going to be slightly different because in all honesty, this game was nowhere at halftime. I was so bored of trying to make notes. I ended up putting my notebook down, and then this happened. Then this all happened. So it's going to be slightly differently. We're going to be a bit off the cuff with this one because wow, not a lot to talk about in terms of that first half. 3-3 at halftime. That's astonishing in itself. Both of these two teams throughout the World Cup have been two really exciting teams that, expansive rugby. Portugal, I was looking forward to see a wild open play game. Fiji, again, another one. Maybe the offload game must be big. Maybe they'll take a few more threes just to make sure they're securing that qualification place. 3-3 was not where I saw halftime going. Frank Lamana getting his penalty in the 10th minute and Marks getting his in the 38th minute. What a great game he had today for this Portugal side, just helping them seal out this victory. But in terms of the half, not a great deal to talk about, right? There was a lot of handling errors from both sides, much more from Fiji. They'll be really, really disappointed with their handling today. The line out for Portugal, pretty poor. The line out for Fiji was kind of 50-50. The scrummaging, very dominant for Fiji. They did have one that went wrong for them where they actually conceded a penalty. It's their first scrum penalty in the World Cup so far that went against them. But positive in terms of the scrum. Most of the scrums were going their way. But we went in at halftime 3-3. I didn't have a lot to say. There weren't a lot of notes. Portugal defending very well and both teams sort of losing their own attack through little mistakes here and there. Storti did almost get one try. That was about all the key highlights really in that first half. Chasing the ball down in the corner. The kick went on beyond two players, rushing onto it, got his hands to the ball but just knocked it on before touching it down. Oh man, I can't believe he didn't score that one. You just think he slid across the ground, collect it and dot it down. He tried to grab it mid-air and dot it down a little bit too outside of his range. Another great game from him today. Going into the second half then, where we've really got all the action to talk about, right? This game just erupted. We have 3 tries in the opening 10 minutes. Both teams came on wanting to make a big impression. The first one, Storti, missing that first one in the first half, coming out in the second half. Superb work from him, just not giving up the chase. You could see the passion in this Portugal side today. It felt like they were playing to get into the quarterfinals, not Fiji. That ball being kicked out the back, Harbosi sort of jogging back for it. I don't know if no one shouted the call that there was a man on for him, but Storti ran round the outside of him and came back in field to dot that ball down, got his try. Marks getting over that kick as well, taking Portugal out to a 10-3 lead. Fiji began to fight back though. Bottia getting his try. Now Bottia's try came off the back of what looked to be another Portugal try. The Portugal on the big attack, that left wing again through Storti, making all the ground down the wing. Fiji in massive recovery mode. The ball gets spilled loose and Makala does a fantastic job to pick up the ball, goes on the counter-attack, opens up the space, and they start just going for those one-off runners, going through the forwards, put it right up to that Portuguese line, put them under massive pressure, and the eventual one getting over was Bottia, scoring his try. Lamani converting that one to bring it back to 10-all. And then Bottia, only 1 minute later, gets a yellow card. Head-on-head contact. This is one of those yellow cards for me that I'm really not enjoying how harshly some of the rules are being applied. This one, wasn't as bad as some of the other yellow cards we've seen, or the red cards that we've seen by any means. It was head-on-head contact, therefore it automatically meets this yellow card threshold, and they have to do the review and stuff. To me, Bottia looked relatively horizontal. That looked to me to be a really solid tackling stance where you're going to hit someone, you know, right in sort of above the solar plexus, you know, maybe right into someone's chest. I thought he was in quite a good position, but the step back inside from the attacker, dipping his own height, and it was sort of like a clunk of heads. It wasn't even head-on-head contact. They both swung past each other and made contact with heads. It's one of those ones for me that I understand why it's a yellow card. I understand the ruling, and that's how the laws are going now. I prefer if those weren't really a yellow card, because I feel like that's much more of a rugby incident than someone trying to nail someone in a massive tackle. I actually think there was one a little bit worse later on from Betancourt came in on a tackle. I'm not actually sure who it was on, but he looked like he ran into that one full upright contact, head on head. They both knocked each other, and Betancourt went off for his HIA, never came back. So I don't know why that one wasn't looked at more, but of course, you know, I'm watching it one time on a camera angle. I'm sure the TMOs hopefully are looking at a little bit closer. Portugal making the most of the yellow card. They're down that extra man. Penalty kick straight into the corner. Superb kick to put them in the best possible position. And Fernandez getting over for his try. The driving ball stopped very well by Fiji, but again, that pick and go through the forwards. Fernandez is the one that eventually manages to go for his try. Marks again on that good kicking duty, put them back in the lead 17 points to 10. Now, from that sort of 55-minute marker all the way up to 70, it became all Fiji. The realization might have started setting in that, yeah, we're still on for the losing bonus point, but if they get anything more, we're going home. We're going home. That's the end of our World Cup hope. So the next sort of 15 minutes was all Fiji pressure. Big attack from them, really putting Portugal under an awful lot of stress. But you have to say the Portuguese defence held up extremely well. Just all over the park. A couple of penalties and stuff given away here and there, you know, during that defence. A lot of them for offside for just how fast they were rushing up to stop Fiji. But their maul defence was solid. Their defensive line-out was really good, especially on some of those 5-metre line-outs. And just the general defence by the Portuguese forwards, extremely good. Now, a couple of penalties coming in along there, like I mentioned. I counted 5 along the way over the course of that sort of 15 minutes, and not a single one went to the posts. Maybe that's not having that, you know, that fully fledged kicker. Lomani had a good kicking day. I thought he was on a good percentage and what he was doing. I think they should have taken a couple threes here and there for them. They turned down 5 options that I counted. That's 15 points. I mean, obviously, they wouldn't have got the consecutive ones probably, but they constantly went for the corner. Portugal defended very well. That is until Doguet goes in on the 68th minute. This was off the back of another big driving maul. Portugal holding it up well, not letting it go anywhere, but then that pick and go. Fiji have got so many massive men on their team. Eventually, one of them does get over, scores that try. Lomani brings it back, all level, 17 apiece. And I'm not going to lie, at this point I thought this is probably where that game's going to end. Maybe as another draw. You know, Fiji will be happy to take this one. The discipline for Portugal got slightly worse as the game went on, and they began to have those, you know, those penalties against them. So Lomani in the 74 minutes and again in the 76 minutes, converting 2 of those penalties, taking Fiji up to a 23-17 lead with 4 minutes left to go. And I thought, there's the game over. Portugal had a superb one in this one. Got very, very close. Bit of a shame for them until that 78th minute. Marta getting his try off the back of who else but Storti, once again, seeing that blindside open, takes full advantage of it, runs down the wing, a little pop pass back inside to Marta to run it over, tried to get as close as he could to the post while being hunted down, and marks again the pressure. The man who got Portugal into the World Cup with a last-minute kick, managing to do it once again here. Big pressure and converting that one, and Portugal sealing out this game very, very professionally. 24 points to 23. So in terms of the World Cup, where are we at? What's going on, Mad Dragon? Well, Fiji still qualify. They come away with a losing bonus point. They needed to come away with 1 point in this game in order to leapfrog Australia because of the head-to-head rules they've got going on in the pool. So Fiji go on to the quarters. They'll be going on to play England. Now, England didn't necessarily have the best game against Samoa. They've got a hell of a lot of stuff to work on as well. Fiji should be pretty disappointed in this performance. I mean, it looked like they were maybe going to scrape that win at the end. They've had 2 back-to-back now for me where they've just not looked like the better team, to be honest. The Georgia one, they did kind of lucky to get back right at the end by just fighting as hard as they could. This one, it looked like maybe something similar was happening, but if they're coming up against a team that's got a bit more passion for it, someone like Portugal is going to play right up to that 80th minute, It looked like Fiji were turning off at points. Looks like they were slowing down. Shorty's try where he ran around Harbosi, I don't know what he was doing by jogging back. The number of handling errors going in for Fiji, terrible. This is their worst disciplined game, the most penalties they've conceded. In terms of the actual stats and stuff, all of the stats sort of backed Fiji as maybe playing better in this one in terms of meters made, number of carries, number of tackles missed. All those were actually more positive towards Fiji than Portugal. But just what you can do with those opportunities, Portugal showed off today. Why the world should be excited to see a bit more of these, these teams coming into the World Cup. This is probably the closest thing I would say to like an upset at this World Cup we've had so far. Fiji, I think for me, were favourites going up against Australia. Some people might have said that one would have been the closest to like an upset. Portugal beating Fiji, I didn't see coming by any stretch of the imagination. What a performance and a well-deserved game by them. A couple of people absolutely stepped out in this one. Marta, Storti, Martins, Marks, all these lads had phenomenal games. In terms of the man of the match, Martins actually got the man of the match for this one. Storti, for me, all day long got man of the match for this one. I obviously missed a couple of things that the commentary team were seeing because Storti, man, didn't stop. I'm sure he can expect some job offers on the table at the end of this World Cup because, my God, a lot of people will be keeping an eye on him as a wing. An absolutely superb game from him. So Fiji will go on to the quarterfinals. Portugal will leave with their heads held up very high with their first ever World Cup win. Congratulations to Portugal. Congratulations to Fiji on qualifying. I'm sure this is not the way you probably wanted to qualify by, squeaking in a losing bonus point to get there. But hey, that is sometimes the way they go, is putting in those big performances against Wales and Australia to have that losing bonus point and the win. That's enough to take you through. Great. Now you've got to double down. Now it needs to be improved as you go up against England. Let me know, of course, guys, what you guys thought of this game down in the comment section, because I always enjoy having a read through your guys' thoughts on it. What a superb game this one was. Of course, we're on now to the quarterfinals, so preview videos will be coming out later this week when we have the team announcements and what have you. So make sure you are subscribed to know when the latest videos go out. I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.